Alright folks, how's it going? This is the chat that we've been waiting for about Gears Classic. If you don't know what Gears of War Classic is, it's a playlist, a weekly event currently right now on Gears 5, check it out. It has no wall cancel, that means if you slide to cover, you have to go to that cover. There is a few tweaks to sort of mechanics, such as if you're roadie running, so if you're sprinting, you can shoot basically immediately out of the run. There is no up A boost, it's execution, and the weapons are Gears of War 1 weapons, meaning no buzzkill, no, weird weapons. There is torque bow, boom, snipe, your shotguns, etc. Classic weapons that you remember from the franchise. And I've been obviously campaigning and talking and thinking about this for like 9 months on the game, saying, yeah, Classic Gears is like the best way to play the game. Is this the way we want to play the game? Is this the way we want to move forward with the franchise? And sometimes when every single person's telling you, yeah, this is dated, it's an old mechanic, it wouldn't work in modern Gears, you begin to think, maybe that's right, maybe it is a bit dated, but all you can do is play it. So I decided to play it. And I wanted to give it a good amount of time. That's why the video is late, because this channel isn't about rushing out a video just to get those initial views of, guys, Classic's out, go tune in, give me some views. No, I want to do it properly. That way, if I keep doing it properly, people will in turn know I do a good job, and in turn wait for my sort of feedback and wait for the video. That would be a lovely situation to be in. So I played a lot. I played on my own first. Then I played in a couple stacks. Then I played on my own again. Then I played with some friends. Then I played in the early morning. Then I played late in the evening. Then I played when I wasn't in the mood to play. And then I played when I was in the mood to play. Because that is important. If you play when you're only in the mood to play, your mind's going to be, oh, this is great. If you play when you're only, if you're actively looking to hate it and you're looking to be like, oh, I'm really not enjoying this, really not enjoying Gears, I'm going to go on it anyway, then you're not going to enjoy it. And if you play on your own, it might be boring or good. You might fight stacks and win. Or if you play with friends, it might be more fun or less fun. You don't know. So I did a few scenarios. And yeah, I normally write these videos down, script them, order the points down what I want to make. But for this one, I just kind of want to talk. And it's not going to be too long, even though it's a massive thing that we've been building towards to get Classic Gears on the map, or in the developer's eyes. In the end, it's kind of reinforced what I've always thought about the game. So when I initially loaded up the Classic event, I was like, this is no different. That was my impression. This is no different. Because I don't really play with a massive hyper bounce cancelling style anyway. I will admit, now that I've played Gears 5 for a long time, I up A, I cancel, I kind of bounce about. And if people watch my stream, I know I don't post any gameplay to this channel, but I'm a decent enough player. I can do the wall cancelling, all the bouncing stuff when it needs to be, but I don't randomly do it. I do it when I need to do it. So when I initially played, and there was no wall cancel, I didn't notice it. And I didn't really notice anybody else playing in a different way. It felt effectively like it was Gears 5 slowed down on execution with some weapons like the long shot and torque bow, which have some major problems, and a boom shot. And I just wasn't enjoying it, I'll be honest. And I began to think, oh, like, maybe this isn't what I remember it. This just... maybe it's not what we remember it. Maybe it's been rose-tinted glasses. So I played some more, and then I began to notice the little mechanic changes, the no up A speed boost. I noticed the more consistent back A's from the game. I noticed the fact that there were occasions where I was taking 1v2s. There'll be some gameplay on screen probably that you're watching. And being able to read where somebody is going, it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does, and that's important. There are certain situations where I win a 2v1 because I down the guy, and then I force the second guy to slide, and I have a small fraction to just pause, aim my shot properly, because I know he's going to the wall, and he can't cancel out of it, and he can't shoot, and he can't lefty slide cancel, and you've forced him into a move. He's chosen that move, and he gets punished for it, and it feels really, really good. Now, the roadie run delay, excellent. The fact that it's less, brilliant. Now, I'd love it to be more, as in the delay removal was more. There was no delay. Because although it's really nice to run and shoot, feels fantastic. Like, there have been so many kills where I've been head down running, I've spotted the guy and I've shot and killed him, rather than just be stuck in this non-existent animation where you have to wait like half a second till you can shoot. It's been really, really good. The only issue I have with it is it's not as impactful as it could be, because the initial time to get running and the initial change of direction when running is a bit slow. There's like this lull, kind of like before they upped the strafe speed, there's like this, you're in a kind of moment where you're in the mud and you try to move, you try to set off running, and your character doesn't react instantly. So you can't really roadie run strafe, but I will admit I have seen a ton more people actually run shoot strafing, which for me is great. I think that's what's really fun about the game. Now, it is wrapped inside execution, and inside the game mode execution, it's not the most fun. You know me, when I played Gears of War 1, I played Warzone, and when I played Gears of War 2, I played Submission, Guardian, and not really much at any execution, to be honest. When I played Gears 3, I moved back to execution, as that was kind of the thing that we played. Gears 4, I played King of the Hill, and Gears 5, I played King of the Hill. And there isn't a lot of action going on in execution. With 4 people, there's not much action going on, and I can see why people get bored. But wait, I feel like I had many games where I really enjoyed execution. At the beginning, I was kind of like, you know, where you've been on that dopamine of running from hill to hill and getting kill after kill after kill after kill. And then all of a sudden it's taken away, you're like, yeah, this is no fun. But then you begin to play execution a bit more and you realise kills are impactful. If you get a kill on the right hand side of the map and you have a torque bow, that's your side of the map. There is only 3 other people going to be there. You're going to be in a 1v1 and you have a power weapon, and there's going to be 2 other people on the other side of the map. You can control the map so much better in this scenario. When you're sort of fighting and you're moving around the map, it's so less barbaric, fast, crazy. It's actually calculated, and that's not to say it's boring. It just is. You're not getting relentlessly crossed in the back from everywhere. There are places where you can hide, and that's due to the fact there's only 4 people. So I think I was enjoying the fact there was 4 people more than the fact I was enjoying it was execution. So if this was to be put in King of the Hill, I think it would just be as enjoyable. Now, classic Gears to me is about the Lancer being a support weapon. This was a problem when I played the playlist, because the Lancer is still ridiculous. Now, people keep telling me that, oh, you know, the Lancer's not ridiculous. Why does TC keep nerfing it? I've had a lot of comments recently saying, why do TC hate the Lancer? And I still think it's too easy to use. There is just nowhere near enough recoil. And also, there's not enough damage fall off. If you tap people across the map, you can impact fights across the map, which goes into the maps. And the maps obviously aren't classic Gears maps. It's no coincidence that the most fun I had was on Canals, because that map's designed for 4v4 and areas are sectioned off and vision is denied. Whereas when you play on, say, a lift or a Panahu or a training grounds less so. Training grounds actually works kind of well in execution because there is those little pockets. But when you play the generic Gears 5 maps, you can see everybody and everything. And you can be tap fired from every direction, and the snub pistol is still ridiculous. You know, in Gears 1, you wouldn't really worry about being up close to somebody with a snub, but in this game, boom, they'll snub you down, they'll lance you down, they'll knife lunge you. I've done it myself, I've had to knife lunge. And it's a very strange game mode, and I can see how there could be an issue where people will play this, and they're going to go, you know, I don't like this. And then they're going to conflate that and they're going to tag it along to the idea that they don't like it because it's classic Gears, when actually what they're not liking most likely is a variety of other things that happen to be tagged into the classic Gears experience. So yeah, I will admit getting Boomshot and Torque killed relentlessly on one life isn't that fun, but that's because the Torque is stupidly easy to use. It charges instantly, the lights don't even show when someone's charging it. The Boomshot can be active to have a massive splash. It just nukes everything from an enormous range. And the Sniper has so much magnetism that you can snipe people. You can walk left to right and snipe and be accurate, which is so strange to me. You know, people do it now because they've been doing it since, I guess, Gears 4, but people walking snipe. People like will snipe you in the kneecaps and headshot you occasionally. The netcode on top of all of that, again, the netcode just makes the game feel odd. It's like an old Gears put inside Gears 5. But again, everybody that I spoke to, I played with O&D, Ruthless Joe, and other people, you know, around Twitter and on Discord, they all said that they really enjoyed the classic experience. And I think it should stay. Now, should the game be classic? I personally think, I think 4v4, no wall cancel, tweak the weapons, it's clearly better. I have to say, I think it's clearly better. Now, if you want me to go into massive detail about every single weapon, every single problem, yeah, we've done that to death. But I feel like the classic experience reminded me it might not have been perfect, because remember, this is classic Gears with weird magnetism power weapons, weird shooting mechanics like you can look vertically down on a block, there's stopping power, you know, which I don't agree with in classic Gears. There's lots of these things that are going on that sort of spoil it, but I can still look at it and go, you know what, this is actually pretty damn fun. I actually really enjoyed the classic experience. So this is only a short video, and you might be wondering why it's taken me so long to post this video when it's just a short video of me talking that seems like that's what I normally do, but it's just been a strange one because you campaign to get classic Gears involved for so long. And then you begin to realise at the end of it that really, it's not even the balance that matters that much. It's one of the reasons I enjoyed the classic experience was it was a bit more calm. I wasn't getting rifled everywhere. The Omen wasn't as present. My screen wasn't full red 24/7. I wasn't getting flashbanged as much. I didn't have to fight against the maps as much because setups weren't as overpowered because it's execution and people move around a bit more. You know, sometimes you try to clutch and you couldn't clutch because you're spotted, and then people can TACCOM you through walls. They can see if you're strafing left to right around a pillar, and they know where you're going to go. On Gears 1, if you were one-on-one and there was a guy directly in front of you on the pillar, you didn't know if he was going to pop round the left, pop round the right, maybe back roll, take a different angle. On this, you spot them. Again, I have a big problem with spotting. I think the level of communication teams have these days, we don't need spotting on top. You know, that's just my thing. I don't like the hit markers. If you smoke the map, you know, you can just buzz people down with hit markers. But overall, the classic experience just reminds me that, you know what, like, if this game was slightly tweaked to be more classic, and the magnetism was fixed, and importantly the look of the game, like, I think that's the biggest factor I realised whilst playing this. Is one of the main reasons I'm not enjoying Gears isn't so much the fact it's Gears 5 or it's not classic or whatever. It's the fact that there are no players for me, and you've got to understand that, guys. Like, I've made content for like a year and I don't have a player base to play in. It's really difficult. It doesn't look great in the sense that robots, I don't like the swarm, you know, the coloured skins. I don't have a problem with skins, but I'd rather they be dark, gritty skins like flaming omens and stuff rather than, you know, a unicorn skin. I don't even mind the emotes. I quite like the emotes, to be honest. I think they're kind of fun. You know, the style of the maps, the layout of the maps, all of this stuff it wasn't conducive to classic Gears. So it was kind of like, I liked the whole reading of the movement. I did get annoyed by the large gib range and slightly too far poke. I felt like I was being shot downed relentlessly, and I couldn't have shotgun fights. And when I did have a shotgun fight with the netcode and the gib range, it was a struggle. But again, I still enjoyed the classic experience, and it's a year on, And it's just a strange one for me. That's why it's taken a little bit to do this video, because we're a year later and it's kind of like we're reverting back to the game from 2006. And what I'm looking for isn't a game from 2006. I'm looking for the core mechanics of Gears to be kind of like 2006, but to modernize it in the right way. You know, modernize the look of it. We've got ray tracing, we've got different lighting, we've got much better graphics, textures, we've got new sort of engines that can do things like, you know, the snow leaves footprints and the footprints stay for a long time in the campaign. You could make a really sick, dark, gritty game with the technology we've got now and some classic stuff, but modernize it. You know, I don't think execution is the be-all and end-all. I think there could be a Gears twist. I think King of the Hill would be more fun with 4v4, but it could do with a Gears twist. So yeah, the classic Gears experience, it was worth it for me because I enjoyed playing on it. It did remind me that I wasn't too crazy. The mechanics are fun, but it's just this weird hybrid where it's a classic Gears embedded into a game with all of the current problems it's got, and it doesn't mesh perfectly. But when you're playing it with some friends, when you're chilling out and you're playing some execution, you're like, yeah, this is actually still fun. And I think everyone's brain's just been dopamined up, rushed up with battle royales, King of the Hill. It's like, if you're not in the action immediately, it's boring. Nobody wants to play it. And yeah, maybe the devs need to do something to tweak that. But classic Gears, highly recommend you do check it out before the event's over and give it some time. It's probably going to be a bit jarring at first, but then when you begin to understand what it offers differently to the current game, like there are certain things you can do in the game that you can't do currently. So if I force somebody to shoot and I slide and body them, it feels so much more impactful because I had to slide. I chose to slide and I had to slide. I couldn't cancel out of it if it looked bad, you know. It's just good fun. And it's a bit of a strange one for me because it's like, it feels like I'm going back in time to 2006 and everyone's like, yeah, make it like 2006. But I'm kind of like, yeah, make it like 2006, but modernize it and give the game better leveling systems, rewards, tutorials to get people involved. Because if the game goes back to the way it was in 2006, it's going to be another small game. And I want to see Gears at the top. And I think there is a game under the hood there that we all know. We all know there's a good game under the hood there. But it's just buried in these weird mechanics that we can't seem to get away from. Even in Classic, you know, the flashbangs are in Classic, stopping power's in Classic. They lowered the run speed, and the dev said, oh, the reason we lowered the run speed was because Gears 1 had the lowest run speed. But it just doesn't. I think if you asked, like, 1,000 Gears of War 1 veterans, was the Gears of War 1 roadie run slow? They'd be like, no, it was quick. So yeah, it's a nice attempt, and that's all I can say. It's a nice attempt, and I appreciate the fact the devs have done it, because I understand as well they can't rebuild Gears of War mechanics inside of Gears 5. This is just a playlist with a few tweaks to the OG players that want to try it, and also it's now available in custom games, so I tried it on King of the Hill with execution rules, and it's more fun. And I think they could just do some things, man, to really help the game, like put execution rules on King of the Hill, lower it to 4v4, get some goddamn good maps on the game. You know, it's not difficult, and I think it would go a long way. I think people miss King of the Hill Nasher only. I know a lot of people have told me they've stopped playing the game. Just to throw it out there before the video ends, you know, when you go into quick play, it should be King of the Hill Nashers as a staple event. And then there should be a rumble pit of all the other modes. And if you don't want to do a rumble pit, you play customs. Then there'll be more people either in customs, which are then hosting the classic events and hosting on maps you want to play. And then you can choose the map you want to play on. Or you go into ranked, and ranked is more specifically dedicated towards good gameplay. Rather than being like, if you want to play Guardian or TDM, play it in ranked, and then casuals walk in, and it all gets... There's too many playlists and stuff, but that's not here for... That's not about classic Gears. What I'm just trying to say is, I think it was a really good piece of fun for the week, and I recommend you try it. But it's it's not the game saver. It's not going to save the game. Put it this way, did 3 million people leave Gears 5 because there was no classic mode? No, there was other issues. Other issues that are still there. So that was my thoughts on classic Gears. As always, you can support the content. We've got a content goal here. We're 5% into the content goal. If we could reach that content goal for the end of September, that would be like massive. We've got Twitch subs down here. We've got Twitch subs with people like Dr. Classy, Owen the OG there, and people following the channel. We're at 2,222 Twitch followers. So thank you very much. I'm going to be producing a sort of string of videos now, over maybe some esports, some tactics and stuff, but stay tuned. Hope you've enjoyed the year's content. Leave a thumbs up. This was Classic Gears. Give it a whirl. Let me know what you think in the comments below.